What's up guys, WOOO here, back again with another Division 2 build video. Welcome back, and today's build, this is a fantastic alternative to Eclipse Protocol. We know that is perhaps one of the strongest gear sets in the game because of what it offers in terms of status effects. It is absolutely fantastic to have one of those in your setup if you are rolling difficult content. We know if you're going to play heroic content, you can just blitz it through any build. Legendaries now, it's nice to have that mix of builds in your loadouts, and this build is a very fun alternative to Eclipse Protocol. What you're going to get with this build, you're going to get fantastic status effects. You're going to get some really nice damage as well, and of course, crowd control. I like this build. I think this build is sensational, and you must have it in your loadouts. It is that good. However, it is a little bit different from the norm, and a lot of people will not use this. They will stick to Eclipse Protocol, but I implore you to test it out in PvE and see what you think. Now, you're not going to be the main damage dealer on this build. That is not going to be a fact. What is going to be a fact, you are going to crowd control the NPCs. You're going to stagger, shock, because this is a super strong build that fixes those big fat NPCs in place for your DPSs and your other skill builders to take them down quickly. Guys, enough of the jibber jabber. Let's do this. Come on. If you enjoy this build, enjoy the video, you know what to do. Thumbs doodle, it helps. It helps me and the channel. We know by now it does, guys. It truly does. And if you're new to the channel, drop the WOOO bomb on the sub button, ding the bell to be notified when I upload my shizzle. Peeps, let's move this. What is up guys, yes it's WOOO, and just a few things before we get into the nitty gritty of the build. I have a new guilded server which has a fantastic array of people that are joining together, completing raids, and if you want to join the community, feel free to join. So I would love you to, and again we can chat offline, that would be awesome. The link is in the description, make sure you check it out. And then guys, yes, if you want to support me offline, you want to help me grow my channel and grow my streams, then check me out on Ko-fi, and the link is also in the description. Guys, let's check out the build. Right, let's get back into the range. Now again, I've had a lot of fun with this build. So much fun. Right, that's enabled. Right, let's have a look. Okay, so here it is. This is the build I've been using, and you're going to say, oh, okay, this is a bit different. I'm using Survivalist. Yes, I'm using Survivalist. I like the Survivalist. Is it my favorite specialization? No, I'm a big Technician fan. You know me by now, guys. I love Technician because that skill damage, the passive skill tier, I just think that's ace for survivability and more damage. But this is a skill build that offers so much damage for your teammates. It elevates their damage. So this is why it's super duper strong. Now, Survivalist is the go-to on this particular gear setup. You can use Technician if you want for your skill damage or the passive skill tier, survivability, etc. But you could also use Demolitionist for the extra explosive damage through your Seeker Mine, and also through your chest piece, and also, yes, the Vile Mask and that damage. And it elevating, again, amplifying that damage with Demolitionist, i.e. explosives shit. You know how it goes. But I'm not doing that on this build. I'm using Survivalist because it's very selfless of me, because I want to help my 3 other allies and impacting their damage against NPCs, especially with a DPSer, to get the extra 10% damage to status affected targets. That's all you are doing on this build. You are just dipping so much status effects. It's fantastic crowd control, so it makes life easier for your teammates. Very simple. And again, you can see in the gameplay, and you've seen how this build works, and I'll demonstrate again in the range and show you how powerful this is, and of course talk you through it piece by piece. So guys, Survivalist, the way to go. Let's go through this. I am 0 offensive, 0 defensive. I am 6 utility stats. This is an all skill build, and I am 726k armor, 330k health, 6 skill tiers. Let's go through the build. We'll start with this nice shiny exotic. It is the Vile Mask, and we know what this does by now, but I'm going to demonstrate again. Status effects is 9.3%. Hazard protection is 9.5%, and a God Sausage Roll 12% skill haste mod. Toxic delivery. Status effects also apply a damage over time debuff for 10 seconds. total damage dealt is equal to 50% of your concussion grenade and increased by your status effect attributes. So guys, if you're going to build a vile build, what you need to do is two things. First thing is try and get some explosive damage on there because it will amplify the damage. Simple. And again guys, when we're talking concussion grenade damage, that is explosive damage, guys. That's what we're looking at. So explosive damage through China Light, through the two-piece Grupo Sombra, and of course the Demolitionist specialization. So you need one of those on, in my opinion, to really get something out of this build. Then we have your status effect attributes. Try and get status effects where possible everywhere. If you can't, it's fine. It truly is. As long as you've got skill damage, skill haste, status effects, an amalgamation of the three, you cannot go wrong with this build. Now, that's what makes it easy to farm for, easy to put together. So the Vile Mask is fantastic to use. It really is. It's one of the go-to exotic pieces, especially for a skill build, guys. You know, you're looking at status effects. Do you have to use Vile Mask? No, you do not, but it still offers so much extra damage because of that tick, and that's great. And again, get some explosive damage on there and you'll see some extra tick. Brilliant. The holster is the first piece of China Light Industries Corporation. It is explosive damage, skill haste, and status effects. I've opted for the 3-piece. Not many people roll with 3-piece China Light. They go with the 1-piece for that explosive damage, and then get some Wyvern on there, get some Empress International on there, they get some Hannah Yu on there for the skill haste, skill damage, etc., etc. This is different. This is different because I want to optimize it as much as I can. I want some skill haste, and I do want some extra status effects, and that's why I've opted for the 3-piece. In terms of the attributes, guys, as I've said, the song remains the same when you're building this. Status effects, skill haste, skill damage. Get those on there, you can't go wrong. Knee pads, again, exactly the same. It's skill damage, status effects, exactly what you want. Then we have the last piece of China Industries Corporation, and that is, this one is skill haste and status effects. Then we go through the backpack, and this is what makes the build really just, oh, it's a cherry on top. It is creme de la creme. It's Wyvern wear. You're going to think, hang on, this piece isn't too shit hard, WOOO. What you talking about? Well, ideally what you want is that status effects 8.8% to be maximum. But again, 1%, who cares? It's a percent. So 8.8% status effects, skill damage is 10%, a god roll 12% skill haste mod, but the talent Creeping Death. And again, getting Creeping Death, you want to get it on a nice backpack, but that it is Wyvern wear, that is Hannah Yu, that is Empress, that is explosive damage China Light. Get it on those pieces and you'll have a good build ready to go. But Creeping Death is so good. When you apply a status effect, it is also applied to all enemies within 8 meters of your target, and the cooldown is 15 seconds. So 4 times a minute, you can spread the love. Simple. Now the good thing with Creeping Death, it pairs perfectly with my chosen weapon, which is the Scorpio, which really fucking shines. Again, the Scorpio shock transfers and it procs Creeping Death. Hand in hand, perfect way to go. Then with the chest piece, which is completely left field, completely off the hook, and this is this piece. Again, it's not perfect, but it works for me. Skill damage and status effects because it's 2-piece Wyvern. Skill damage, skill haste, which is a little bit on the low side. I need to optimize it. Like the backpack, I need to optimize it. I get it. Explosive delivery. Whenever you throw a skill, 1.5 seconds after landing, it creates an explosion damaging enemies within 5 meters. Damage scales with tier dealing 25 to 100% damage of a concussion grenade at once per skill. Now with this, again, you can see I'm a skill tier 6 build, so I'm going to get 100% extra damage that I will get with a concussion grenade. That's brilliant. So it applies to the 2 skills I am using in my arsenal, and that's what makes explosive delivery so useful. For that, again, bang for your buck, you know it goes. It is such an underutilized talent. I like this on my chest piece. I think it's excellent. A lot of people go for glass cannon, they go for kinetic momentum, they go for other talents that are really good. I mean, trauma, what a great combination, trauma, Creeping Death. But I've done that build video, guys. I've done it. This is something a little bit different and works really, really well. Excellent chest piece talent. Make sure you test it if you haven't already. And I will demonstrate that now. So let's look at that. We're in the range, right? Okay, firstly, we're going to start with the shock trap. Shock trap, here goes. Wait for the boom. And there's the boom. And you can see, boom, and what it's done, it's created that proc of shock, and that's also created creeping death. It's proc that bad boy. Brilliant. Now let's throw the Seeker Mine. As you can see, there's the radius. Boom. Happy days. And that's what makes it so strong. Is the creeping death and the shock will proc multiple NPCs, create more carnage, more shock, more crowd control, more status effects. You know how it goes. And then we have this bad boy. Let me just switch to my primary. Boom, boom. There you go. You can see the shock has been transferred by creeping death, and that's 67,952 per tick. Awesome. Awesome. That's what I'm using. That's why I like this setup. Beautiful. Right. Let's go back to the build. We'll go through the skills, then we'll look at the weapons. Skills are interchangeable. You can use whatever you want with this. And I'll demonstrate, well, again, I'll talk about why. Now, I've opted for the Explosive Seeker Mine. Is it the best skill in the game? No, it's not, guys. No, it's not. And you can see I'm on the range. The cooldowns are not on there. They need to be disabled. We'll do that now. Just before someone says, why is it 5.8 seconds, WOOO? That's wrong. Yeah, that will update shortly. Now, the Shock Trap has a 35.3 second cooldown. We'll do this first, then we'll look at the Seeker Mine when the times are accurate. So this is what we're looking at. The shock radius is 4.2 meters. The duration is 8.1 seconds. The duration of the shock trap being stationary on the floor, that is 75.5 seconds. Brilliant. And we know that cooldown of 33.5 seconds is excellent because you just deploy the shock trap and then you've got a minute and 15 seconds of it being deployed. Simple. And that's why I like this cooldown, which starts automatically as soon as you drop it, rather than deploy the shock trap and then once it's destroyed, then you've got to wait 33 seconds. That would piss me off, and that would mean I would not use it. But this method is so much more effective and is brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant as it is. I like this. So this is what you want. It's that cooldown which is embedded in the time you are waiting for the duration. It's brilliant. So as soon as you're finished, just cancel it, and then you're ready to go again with another shock trap. Great. So guys, this is what makes it strong. The duration and shock radius of what I've opted for on this particular setup with the skills. Now, the Seeker Mine, is it better? No, it's still 5.8 seconds. It's actually, guys, about 19 seconds. To be, again, accurate, it's about 19 seconds. But because we're in the range, and yeah, it's bugged, who gives a shit? Anyway, 19 seconds. The damage is 3.321298 million. Okay. And I know some of you watching this will go, I can get it higher. I know you can. That's fine. That's not a problem. What we have to take into consideration is I'm not using pieces that are going to amplify explosive damage in the most optimal way. For example, Grupo Sombra as an example. We're talking Demolitionist. You know, we're using Survivalist. This is team build that also kicks ass, not to mention. The bleed damage is 71,074. The bleed duration is 11.8 seconds. And again, a great place to be. Damage, health, damage. Boom. That's what you want. Damage, health, damage. Awesome. We looked at the shock trap. We've looked at the Seeker Mine. Yeah. So let's take a look at the weapons. First weapon is a primary, is the Scorpio Exotic Shotgun. Great. And again, it's not optimized yet. I need to do that. But why I'm using this is because, again, the extra shock, which procs creeping death on the backpack. Brilliant. That does me more damage over time. This is, again, guys, argue with me. Please someone argue with me. This is one of the best, if not the best, exotic weapon in the game. It is powerful beyond belief. I love the capacitor. I think the capacitor is a fantastic all-round weapon, predominantly for skill builds, because it gives you so much damage. So much damage is fantastic. I like the capacitor. The capacitor is my favorite, in all honesty. The Scorpio is millimeters behind. So, Septic Shock. Shooting a target applies stacks of venom, which lasts for 10 seconds. Increasing stacks adds more severe debuffs to the target. Poison, disorient, shock, and 7, the target takes additional 20% damage from all sources. Stacks no longer increase. Duration of status effects is based on the percentage of pellets applying on hit. Great, you know, up close and personal, you can just pop them pellets easily. From a distance, you could get a couple in quite easily as well. But this is strong, guys, it truly is. Reload speed, crit chance, stability, and weapon handling. My secondary is the test subject, and you go, woo, using a test subject, he must be going mad. Yeah, guys, I'm going fucking fruitcake. I'm using the test subject because it's the next best in line, in my opinion. You could use the Glory Days, where it's called, that offers the extra perfect perpetuation, that everlasting, whatever it's called, everlasting gaze or glory, whatever, that one, perfect perpetuation talent. You could use that, guys, and that will give you that extra little bit status effects. However, it is to one target, guys, to one target, not multiple, it's one. So what I'd rather have is a bit more damage skill. So when I do interchange between the Scorpio and the test subject, I'm getting an extra 40% skill and weapon damage, which helps my Seeker Mine, yes, massively. So this is why I use the test subject, because that's perfectly in sync in how good it is. Plus, I love the capacitor. I've got to get an AR. It's got to happen. Weapon handling, rounds, and crit chance. And the sidearm. You know if you watch any of my content, don't use it, guys. It is what it is. Now let's take a look at the stats. Again, weapon damage. Again, guys, you are shooting peanuts. It's irrelevant. What you need to do is make sure you're proccing as much as the shock as possible from the Scorpio, and you're accurate with the test subject for the extra damage. Simple. This is what we're looking at here. Let's go through. And again, there's no armor on kill. There's no armor regen. That's fine. That's not a problem. Skill haste is 78.9%. I've opted for status effects and skill damage as the primary kind of attributes. There is a little bit of skill haste on there, of course. You could get a little bit more if you wanted to, get your skills back a tinsy-wincy bit quicker. Guys, it is truly up to you. This, for me, works. So for you, it may work a little bit different, but for me, it works a treat. And then we got, again, breaking down the skills a little bit more. The shock trap, brilliant, and the Seeker Mine's fantastic. So guys, yes, this is the build. We'll just demonstrate one more time how powerful this is. Let's use the shock trap. Big bada boom. And then you get explosive boom. Great. And you can see how it just spreads like wildfire to NPCs. That's crowd control, status effects, and damage galore. I like this build. MVP, but not in the numbers, guys. Trust me, not in the numbers. But this works sensationally well in a group. Not solo, guys. Not solo. This is a fantastic group build. As always, guys, if you enjoy the content, you want to do thumbs doodle, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.